Welcome back to the Andrew Tate Show by GSMC Sports. Before the break, Tate was talking about the NCAA settlement and what the implications could be for smaller conferences. There are a lot of potential ramifications and things that we're going to have to keep track of going forward. But we are going to move into our non-sports segment now. And Tate, did you walk at your college graduation? Let me just ask you that first off. Did you go to graduation?
I did not. I graduated in the summer, so I did not walk.
I graduated in December, so I also did not walk.
Okay.
So we have that in common. But a Thomas Jefferson University presenter, utterly butchered students' names during the Jefferson College of Nursing commencement ceremony on May 9th. My apologies for the phonetic spelling or pronunciation of the names that was on the cards, the speaker said during the graduation. I would have been better just reading from the book. My apologies, graduates. So what happened? Thomas Jefferson University explained that the odd delivery was due to the way phonetic spellings were shown on the speaker's name cards. She incorrectly pronounced several nursing students' names, such as Jessica, Allison, Sarah, Louise, Virginia, Stephanie, Maeve, Molly, and Elizabeth. Thomas Jefferson, she was reading them as they were pronounced, like I said, on the cards. So instead of saying Molly Elizabeth Camp, the speaker said Maulina Zabeth Cap. For Maeve Elizabeth, she blurted out Maeve Lee Zubeth. And Sarah Virginia Brennan's name was pronounced Sayer Uvun Jingu Brin. See, I can't even read the phonetics of it. One name took many attendees by surprise, and that name was Tamome, also known as Thomas Michael Canaveri Jr. He actually muttered, "It's Thomas."
Wow.
So this shocked many people because the college is Thomas Jefferson University. And many people found it odd that the presenter needed help pronouncing Thomas correctly, even though because of the name of the university. The university did apologize to graduates and their families for the embarrassing name mispronunciations. This did go viral. Leadership and faculty of Thomas Jefferson University extend our sincerest apologies for the mispronunciation of the names of several of our graduating nursing students during our recent commencement ceremony, they said. It's the fact, though, that everyone just kind of hammered on that Thomas Tamome portion of that because it is Thomas Jefferson University. But, all right. I have thoughts. Tate, what are your thoughts on all of this craziness?
Okay, my thoughts on this one. Okay, I'm thinking about this, and the first thing as you're reading this, I'm thinking about some of the brothers and sisters that's walking across there, the Raekwons of the world, the Shanaes and the Shaquishas.
Okay.
You know he's gonna butcher those. He can't say them normal, let alone looking at having the cards messed up. So you know he destroyed that. Absolutely destroyed it.
You know what the comparisons were, though, right?
No, let me hear it.
All the social media comparisons. Key and Peele.
Aaron.
I saw so many memes with Aaron.
Oh wow! It took me a second. I didn't know what you were talking about. And then it's like Aaron, and said, "Oh wow, yes."
But yeah, I don't know who wrote the phonetic spellings. If students wrote how, I've never thought about how to phonetically write my name. I don't know, yours is maybe you only have one syllable in your last name, but I don't know how to phonetically write Sarah so that it makes sense. But yeah, she should have just read from the book.
But you know what? I'm going to defend my man. I know.
It was a woman.
All right. The nice lady then. It's one of those things, first off, it's not something that you do all the time.
Right.
So it's not like you practice this. Then you go up there, you're nervous, the lights are on, everyone's there, your heart's beating 1,000,000 miles per hour, and then you look up there and you start reading the card and you're like, hey, Aaron Jamiroquai. And then that just don't sound right. And then but you don't realize it. So after you done went through like 5 in a row, then it kind of hits you in the back of the head, like, wait a minute, I've been saying these all wrong. You start sweating, getting a little nervous, and it just goes downhill from there. I could see that ball just kind of growing and growing.
He eventually did start reading from the book instead of the phonetic spellings, but it was like 50 names deep.
That's what I mean. You kind of at some point you do realize, like, oh, yes, I've made a mistake.
What's that? What the one guy that does the Morgan Freeman impression? That was when she realized she. And then I can only imagine the sweating and this is like one of many, because it's a larger university, so there's lots of graduation ceremonies. So I can imagine the conversations that are happening now around this. But
yeah, I could see that going really bad. And then I'm going to tell you this. People get way too touchy about their name being mispronounced. Some people just, I got a friend of mine, and her name is Anu. Or how do you, we both know her? Anu. And I say Anu. And sounds the same to me.
As my dad used to say, emphasis on the wrong syllable.
Yeah, and she gets super touchy about it. It's not one of those things like I get touchy. Don't call me Andy. You may catch you get an elbow up in there. You call me Andy. But I don't have one of those names that people mispronounce. It's Andrew. It's Tate, Andrew Tate. That's really easy. So I've never really had that problem. My problem has always been, are you the other Andrew Tate? That's
always, but
that's the one I get from time to time, is that one.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like having someone that has your exact name that's a little bit more famous than you are, having that one. But I've never had someone just totally mess up my name. Like I said, I don't like Andy. I've been called Drew before. You just kind of deal with it, but no one butchers my name. And a name like Sarah, no one butchers it as well.
Usually, no. It does make me think of, when you go to a place like Starbucks or some place where they write your name on your order, and people do have names that can be difficult to spell, and there's lots of different spellings of names. Mine's not that hard, but it still gets spelled in some strange ways. That's a little different than this very public.
Yeah, or you have one of those names and you're like a place like that, and then they call it out and they mess up and they call you something so egregiously wrong. Those are tough.
Yeah, I've been in places where when I started a new job after grad school, the newspaper wrote my last name as Seckler instead of Meckler. Okay, they just maybe transposed my first and last initials.
But you put that together because I know you have this issue, Smeckler.
No, it was Sarah Seckler. But yeah, Smeckler drives me crazy. But then like 2 weeks later, somebody introduced me at a work function as Amy Becker. I was like, Amy,
you didn't even try. You didn't even try.
Becker's at least a little bit closer, but how do you get Amy from Sarah?
Yeah, that's a bad one. Or, but to be in a public forum where you are, you're literally, you got hundreds and hundreds of people, not thousands of people there. You're nervous, and sometimes you don't even register that you're reading the card wrong. So you're looking at these cards and it's like, what's with these names? These names are a doozy tonight. And you're like, Thomas. It's like, dude, you work at Thomas University, okay? It is Thomas. You understand?
But how do you phonetically spell Thomas so it looks like Tomome?
T-O-M.
Thomas. I don't know.
And it could have been T-O-M-A-S. M-A, but they thought it was M-O. You know, somebody got bad writing. You know, there's some horrible writing. You're like, next thing you know, you're like, Tumo. S. You're like, oh, hell no.
No, I've had anxiety dreams where I'm reading in a public setting, and that's like I have forgotten how to read, and that actually, those dreams feel a lot like this, but this was in actual real life, and I can't.
Because you
I'm
know,
stressed out just talking about it.
you know, you can feel it starting to go down, going south. Also,
And you can read. You're gonna hear the mutterings.
yeah, that's what I mean. You say the first name wrong, people kind of snicker. You say the next name, it's kind of a little bit of the next thing you know, there's a little bit of rumbling. You say the next one and the next one, then people are kind of like, what the heck's wrong with her? Is she having some medical issues? Do we need to call 911? You know, or something like that. What do we have to do? Because she's calling everybody the wrong name. So, and then you start getting that. So then it gets kind of, you know, it gets kind of rough that way. So yeah, I can totally see it just kind of going south.
Yeah. Well, let's go ahead and take our final break of this episode. When we come back, we'll be moving in a different direction. We will be talking about a ghost divorce and also a possessed clown or haunted clown adoption. So, looking forward to hearing your thoughts on all of that.
I don't have any say in these. I just roll with the punches. So.
Stay tuned. You're watching The Andrew Tate Show by GSMC Sports, and we will be right back.